It was the 25th of January, an important day in Scotland. It was the anniversary of Robert Burns's birthday. All across Scotland there would be special meals cooked and ceilidh parties to celebrate the life and work of this famous Scottish poet. But at St Crispin's School all was not well. In the kitchen, Karen the cook was in a kerfuffle.
I've got the haggis, I've got the tatties, but I've forgotten to buy the turnip to make the neeps. How am I going to make a Burns lunch for the bairns with nae neeps?
Karen exclaimed to her assistant Diane, looking very flustered and pink in the cheeks.
Oh no, what a numpty. What are we going to do?
Then suddenly Karen had a brainwave.
I wonder if the bairns have planted any turnips in our school garden. I'd better phone Julia. She teaches the gardening. She'll know. Julia, hi, it's Karen. I wonder if you can help me. I've no turnip for the bairns' Burns lunch today. It'll be a disaster if I've nae neeps to serve. Are there any neeps in the garden that I could use?
Hi, Karen. You may be in luck. The children planted turnip last year. They've cared for them and the weather has been great. I'll go and check.
Julia went out into the garden and looked in the vegetable beds, and there, to her amazement, right in the middle of the plot was a huge turnip stalk with lots of leaves around it. She grabbed the stalk and pulled hard. Heave-ho! But nae luck. The awfully huge turnip remained stuck. Julia decided to phone Ellie, who taught gardening.
Hi, Ellie, it's Julia. Can you come over to the garden? I need help to pull up a huge turnip for Karen to cook for the children's Burns lunch. Please come quickly.
So Ellie put down her watering can and rushed over to help. Julia held on to the stalk and Ellie held on to Julia. Together they pulled hard.
Heave-ho!
But nae luck. The awfully huge turnip remained stuck. Ellie scratched her head. She decided to phone Stuart, the janitor. He was good in all kinds of emergencies.
Hi, Stuart, it's Ellie. Could you come over to the garden? Julie and I need help to pull up a huge turnip for Karen to cook for the children's Burns lunch. Please hurry.
So Stuart put down his mop and bucket and rushed over to the senior garden to help. Julia held on to the stalk, Ellie held on to Julia, and Stuart held on to Ellie. Together they pulled hard.
Heave-ho!
But nae luck. The awfully huge turnip remained stuck. Stuart decided to phone Jimmy, the minibus driver. Jimmy sometimes helped solve technical problems in school.
Jimmy, hi, Stuart here. If you're in the school car park, would you come over to the garden? Julia, Ellie and I need your help to pull up a huge turnip for Karen to cook for the Burns lunch. Quick as you can, old bean.
So Jimmy put down his newspaper and rushed over to the garden to help. Julia held on to the stalk, Ellie held on to Julia, Stuart held on to Ellie, and Jimmy held on to Stuart. Together they pulled hard.
Heave-ho!
But nae joy. The awfully huge turnip remained stuck.
Right, Tosh, it's nearly 11 o'clock. And Karen needs to get that turnip prepared and cooked ready for the Burns lunch at 12. This is getting serious now. I'm going to phone the head teacher.
So Jimmy phoned Ruth.
Hi, Ruth. It's Jimmy here. How you doing, hen? We have an emergency situation. Karen needs turnip for the bairns' Burns lunch and we have an awfully huge one in the garden, but 4 of us together can't pull it up. Please, can you help?
So Ruth put the report she was writing in her overfilled to-do tray and ran along the corridors until she arrived at the senior garden. She rolled up her sleeves and got stuck in. Julia held on to the stalk, Ellie held on to Julia, Stuart held on to Ellie, Jimmy held on to Stuart, and Ruth held on to Jimmy. Together they pulled hard.
Heave-ho!
But still nae luck. The awfully huge turnip remained stuck.
Now, we're going to need more help.
said Ruth. And she left the others in the garden and went out into the playground. It was playtime and the children were out having fun in the sunshine. Ruth looked around and noticed one little boy pulling his classmate around in a cart. Suddenly, Ruth had a brainwave. She went over to the boy pulling the cart and gently took his hand.
Sarvesh, you are really good at pulling, and I have a special job for you. Come with me.
She led Sarvesh out into the garden.
Now, Sarvesh, you pull me, and pull really hard.
They all got into position. Julia held on to the stalk, Ellie held on to Julia, Stuart held on to Ellie, Jimmy held on to Stuart, Ruth held on to Jimmy, and at the back, wee Sarvesh held on to Ruth. Together they pulled and they pulled as hard as they could. Heave-ho! Then yip yippee! The awfully huge turnip was finally free. The huge turnip was taken over to the kitchen. They needed a wheelbarrow and several people to push it, as it was so big and heavy.
Oh my, what a stutter!
Exclaimed Karen on being presented with the awfully huge turnip.
That'll feed the whole school, that will.
12 o'clock came and the whole school sat down together in the hall to enjoy their Burns lunch. After the bagpipes, they addressed to the haggis and the Selkirk Grace. Ruth raised her glass of fine Scottish tap water and proposed a toast.
Here's to us and here's to what we can do when we all pull together.
She said,
Let's raise a glass to our awfully huge turnip. Oh, and to Rabbie Burns.
Everyone cheered, then they tucked into their haggis, tatties, and of course, their neats too.